YouTubers, what's going on? Today we're doing a video looking at a new product from Primary Arms, the 1:6 scope for 7.62 by 39 300 blackout. This is the ACSS reticle that I have reviewed a few times here on the channel with previous models, with the first generation 1:6 for the 223-556, the 2.5 ACSS for the 223, 556, 308, and 9mm. And now we're looking at the one for the 7.62-39. My plan is to run this on my Yugo NPAP rifle. I've already got it all set up to run. I haven't zeroed the scope yet. Just wanted to do a first impressions video, possibly with some shooting footage today. It may be a different separate video, so we'll see how that goes. But so far, just looking at the scope, I've noticed it's much more compact than previous versions. I do not, now this is the second generation 1:6 for the 7.62-39. So I'm not sure how that size-wise compared. I don't have one to compare it to, but I do have the 1:6 first generation for the AR-15 platform, the 556, 223, and you can see here that the scope is much more compact than the original. So I like that they've kind of made it smaller and shortened that down quite a bit. Especially for an AK, I'd like to even see that on the AR. The more compact scopes, the better. Especially with the the option here of the 1:6 magnification, that makes it just an even better scope all around. So there's a size comparison to the Generation 1:6, and I will tell you, I've had this scope on my AR-15 and off my AR-15 using the Primary Arms mount many times, and it has not lost zero. If anything, maybe a couple spots left or right, but not anything major at all. So it's held zero for well over a year on my AR. Thousands of rounds of ammunition shot through it. So it's a great product. I absolutely love it. So I'm really excited to see one on my AK, because I think the AK platform gets a lot of bad rap for being inaccurate, when in reality, most AKs for optics is kind of limited based on the side rail mounts. And for years ago, that there wasn't a lot of options. You had the really high mounts, and pretty much had you having a chin weld, and not a lot of great optics out there designed for the AK. Nowadays, you have a lot of options. You have a lot of good mounts. You have the RS Products mounts, the Midwest Industries that have given you a lot better cheek weld, and you have a lot better optics nowadays, like this Primary Arms scope here. So you have a lot better choices. So I think you can really kind of tap into the potential of the AK. So we're going to find out, just how accurate it is, just how well it's going to work for that platform. I have, after watching the Primary Arms videos on Facebook and YouTube, I have no doubt that you're going to be able to make shots with this out to 400, 500 yards. That's pretty awesome, and accurate shots, not just hitting a gigantic gong out there that far, but actually hitting accurate shots and doing it in a quick manner. Because obviously the AK is not a DMR. It's not a sniper rifle by any means. It's definitely a mid-range rifle, and 0 to 500 yards would be considered mid-range. 500 yards obviously being the maximum you'd use a rifle for that of that caliber for this type of application. But this scope's going to make it a lot easier to hit those shots out that far. So let's take a look a little bit here at the literature. We're going to kind of iron that out. This is what comes with the scope, and this is really important. You'll notice they even tell you to stop and read this first, because it's very important. If you do not follow these instructions and how to zero the scope and how to use it, you may not get the full potential out of the scope. So this, like it mentions here, advanced combined sighting system with bolt drop compensation, wind and leads in one easy to use system. So I've used this reticle for over a year now on a bunch of different optics, and it's absolutely stellar. I love it. It makes shooting a lot easier. It's a lot more fun. You're not having to figure out ranges. You're not having to mess with turrets. It's all in the reticle, so it's awesome. So you can see here your auto lead is 8.6 miles per hour for average target speed. Your BDC starts here with the dot, which is in the center of the horseshoe, from 100 to 200 yards. You'd use the horseshoe for be up close quarters type shooting. And then you have the top line here being 250 yards, the 3 for 300, the 4 for 400, and the 5 for 500. Your auto ranging here is an 18-inch average center mass, and then you have here your side here on the reticle here for your auto ranging your 36-inch average torso. So you can range targets as well. It's not just used for bullet drop compensation. It is also used for ranging, which is really really innovative, design, I think. So for this caliber, for 7.62, you're going to establish zero with a 16-inch barrel at 50 yards, which that is what's on my Yugo NPAP. And for 20-inch barrels, 100 yards. So it's important to know what size. I just noticed that wasn't in the screen. And I'm not really actually trying to have you guys read along. I'm just trying to read it out loud because it's pretty small print. So you're going to zero this at 50 yards. Once you get that zero, and I've seen this work time and time again with these ACSS scopes, if you're using the correct load, which I believe this was used with Wolf Military Classic, which is a very common grain of bullet. I would imagine if you use Tula or other types of 7.62 that you'd be really close, if not right on. But if you want to use the exact ammo they used, it's Wolf Military Classic. Lost my train of thought altogether. But you're going to zero that at 50 yards, and then you're going to be able to hit. Oh, I was going to say I've hit steel plates with that 2.55 to 1:6, just using these bullet drum compensations. No problem hitting those targets, just lining that up with that 4 and hitting out to 400 yards, 300 yards, etc. So really excited to take this one out and try it, because I've never tried to shoot an AK to that distance before, and I think it's awesome that it's possible, and that this is really going to make that happen. So the 1:6 is what really attracts me, having that one-time magnification for close quarter up front, kind of like a red dot sight. It'll be just as fast as a red dot with that horseshoe, but then you have the flexibility to reach out to 500 yards with this optic. Red dots are going to be very limited on how far you can shoot. Not saying you can't make a 500 yard shot, but it's going to take you a lot to get to that point, to figure out your hold and those kind of things, where this takes all the guesswork out of it for you. So really incredible optic. Really excited to get this on the AK. I've been waiting for this one to come out for a long time now. On the back here you also have, kind of gives you instructions on how to use the wind drift. The little side dots on the outside of these are for 5 mile-an-hour winds, so figure out your wind, and you can use those dots. And you also have this set up here for 300 blackout ballistics. Now you have a lot more options with 300 blackout as far as your grain of bullet, the type of bullet used that they use this for. I won't be using that application, but I could see this being awesome for 300 blackout AR-15. So your tube diameters on these are 30 millimeters, so you're going to want to make sure you get 30 millimeter rings. If you buy this directly from Primary Arms, you do get an option to choose their rings, some sort of AK mount, with that. I got mine from Rob Ski over at the AK Operators Union store. You guys, I'm sure you've checked out the AK Operators Union channel. If you haven't, you absolutely have to. They do awesome work on there. He does some extreme testing. He has tested the heck out of this optic as well as many other Primary Arms optics and put them through some pretty torturous tests, and they have all fared very well. So if you want to see some footage like that, definitely go check out his channel. I'm going to leave a link in the description below and a link to the store where you can actually purchase this. If Primary Arms might be out of stock, he might have some in stock. So that's where I got mine from. They actually got their shipment a little bit earlier than Primary Arms did somehow. So weight on this one is 14.5 ounces. I've just got some Leapers heavy duty rings on here. They're low profile. They don't sit quite as low as I'd like, so I may end up changing those, but this is something I had on hand, and they are really beefy, good rings. So I don't think they'll have any issues. I'm gonna mount that on my side rail mount, hoping to eventually upgrade to the RS Products new mount for the M70 AKs. So it's a lighter weight scope. It's definitely not too heavy. You're only coming at 14.5 ounces on that. Your field of view at 100 yards is 97.2 feet, and your eye relief is 55 to 65 millimeters. Just looking through the scope, let's see if we can get some shots. This is always really difficult to do on camera, guys, as I've stated in previous videos. Oh yeah, there's a good one. Oh, lost our lighting. That's the struggle you get, is finding the light to work through the lens and then to get through the scope. Let me try to light up the reticle. It is a lit reticle. Works just like the other ACSS. There you go. You can kind of see it. Let's try to get some magnification on that and see if that'll stick with us here. So this is on 4 power, and it's plenty bright, guys. It's really hard to see, you know, what through the scope, through the camera lens. So I do apologize. This is one of the most challenging things to do when you're doing scope videos, is getting that reticle to focus, and then to, you know, not to get a lot of. You can see the glass is very clear though. Maybe if we turn that off, we might get less glare. I'm zoomed in pretty far on my camera right now, so I apologize. There we go. That's a good shot right there. So there's a good shot at the reticle. You can see the wind leads 3, 4, 5. You know, at the 500 yards, you're ranging on the side there to the right. Sorry, I'm holding this with my hand, so it's kind of shaky. I apologize. Really clean, clear glass on these guys. I'm just continue to be amazed at the quality of the Primary Arms optics for the money, because the glass on this is just absolutely crystal. I mean, it's so nice. You do have great eye relief. I didn't notice any fish bowl ring kind of effect unless I got really close up on the optic, which is not optimal anyway. So, but another home run by Primary Arms, guys. It's just an initial impressions video. I probably will do a separate video with the range testing. Gonna go zero it today, hopefully at 50 yards, and it may be a little while, a week or two, before I can get out to longer range shooting. But I do have an area where I can shoot out to 500, so we're gonna try to make some you know, shots clear out to 400 or 500 yards, see how we do. So thanks for watching the video today. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. We'll see you on the next one.